Welcome back to our class. Today we're going to be learning addition within 10,000 and we're going to be solving real-world problems. Our learning objectives for today are going to be I can use VAR models to solve two-step real-world problems involving addition, and I can estimate to check the answers by rounding the numbers in calculations involving addition. So let's solve the first problem. The first step to solve the problem is to read it. A computer costs $1,950. It costs $250 less than the television set. How much does the television set cost? Now the next step is to underline the question to make sure we're focusing on it. How much does the television set cost? Now I'm going to start underlining and representing the information that is going to help me to answer this question. So a computer costs $1,950. So I'm going to represent that with this bar. This is the cost of the computer. So let's put here computer. And the computer costs $1,950. Now, here says too, it costs $250 less than the television set. Now, be careful with this less than, because the only thing it's telling me is that the computer is less than the television. So this implies that the television costs more than the computer. So I'm going to put here TV. So I know now that the television costs less, $250 less than the computer costs less than the television. And this is the amount of money that the computer costs less than the television. So $250. So if I want to know how much is the television, I need to find out how much is the computer and plus the $250. So we can tell that this is the part and this is the whole. So 1,950 is one part and 250 is another part. So we're trying to find the whole. And when we don't know the whole, we're going to do addition. So let's look at some of the keywords, and I added a new one. When we're trying to find the whole, we're going to do addition. Even though here says less than, don't get tricked for that. We're trying to find the whole, so we're going to do addition. Now let's solve this using a place value chart. Remember, every time we're adding, we're going to start always in the ones. So when I add these two numbers, the cost of the computer plus the cost that is extra for the TV, we are going to find the price of the TV. So 0 ones and 0 ones makes 0 ones. 5 tens plus 5 tens makes 10 tens. Now remember, we cannot have 2 digits in the tens column. So we're going to regroup these 10 tens, which are going to make 100. Now we have 100 that we regroup, plus 900s that we had before, that's 10 hundreds, plus 2 more is going to make 12 hundreds. Now remember again, 12 hundreds make 1,000. So this 1,000 is going to move to the thousands place, and then we're going to have 1,000 plus 1,000 makes 2,000. So the cost of the computer, of the television, is going to be 2,200. When you're solving this problem in your notebook, you may take a little short steps, which is 0 ones plus 0 ones make 0 ones. 5 tens plus 5 tens make 10 tens. So just place the 0 of the tens here and the 1 here in the hundreds because you are regrouping now. Now this little 1 is the regroup, plus 9 that you had before is 10, plus 2 more makes 12. Now put the 2 of the 12 here on the hundreds and the 1 of the 12 here in the thousands. And then you can add them. 1,000 plus 1,000 makes 2,000. So this is your answer. Now let's write the answer statement. When we're doing the answer statement, remember the first thing you have to do is go back to the question and cross the question words. How much, and don't forget to cross the auxiliary verb dash. Now using the left words, I'm going to write my answer statement. the television set cost, so I can write that down. The television set cost, and usually we put a blank here until we find the answer. Now the answer we know is 2,000, so let's put the symbol of dollars, $2,200. Now this is how we solve the first part of our problem. Now we just find out how much the television cost. The television set cost $2,200, but some problems have more than one question. Some problems have two questions, so we added a new question for the same problem. How much do both items cost in all? So how much do they cost in all? To answer that question, we need to know the price of the computer and the price of the television. So that means we cannot solve the second question without finding the first question, which is the price of the television. Now they want to know how much both items cost. So we know something already, that the computer cost $1,950. And after solving the first question, we find out that the computer cost $2,200. So they want to know how many they cost in all. Now remember, when we want to find out how much are things in all, we combine them, we put them together, or we join them. We're going to be addition. We're going to be doing addition again. So let's solve the problem. Let's do the addition, because one more time, we're trying to find the whole. We know the parts. We know the part, this part 1,950, and we know this part 2,200. And we're trying to find again the whole. Remember, every time we're trying to find the whole, let's look at this again. When we're trying to find the whole, we're going to do an addition. So let's solve the addition. When adding two numbers, always remember to start in the ones. So 0 ones plus 0 ones makes 0 ones. 5 tens plus 0 tens makes 5 tens. 900 plus 200 makes 1,100. And one more time, every time we have more than 10, we have to regroup. So we regroup and put them in the thousands. So now we have 1,000 plus 1,000, 2,000 plus 2 more thousands makes 4,000. So the answer for our problem is going to be $4,150, which is going to be the cost of both. Now this time, let's write the answer statement we did before, and let's do how much do both items cost in all. So remember, you cross the question words, how much, and you cross the auxiliary verb does or do. Now we have the words both items cost in all. So let's start making the sentence using the words on our left. So both items cost. We leave the space for the answer blank, and then in all. And then we just find the answer to our question. Remember, we can do the addition again. Just to prove it, let's do it this time without doing the place value chart. But keep in mind that the place value chart is there even if you don't do it. And plus 200. And let's start with the ones, 0 ones, 5 tens, 11 hundredths, the one here of the tens, hundreds, and then the one here. So 1,000 plus 1,000, 2,000, and another 2,000 makes 4,000. So the both items cost 4,150. Now let's check for how reasonable our answer is. Now to check how reasonable our answer is, let's run the numbers. Let's go to the first question. The first question says, how much does the television set cost? And we know that the computer is $1,950 and that the television is $250 more. Now, because we're rounding to the thousands, we're going to be checking on the tens place. So we can know which of these rules applies. Remember, with the number in the tens in this case is 1, 2, 3, or 4, we stay in the same thousand, which is 9 and 2. But if the number is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it moves to the next 100. So let's check for the first number. The first number says that we have 5. So that means in the tens place, that means we have to move to the next 100. We have 1900, so the next 100 is going to be 20. And the other two numbers, the 50, become zeros. So 1950 runs to 2000. Now, the 250 has 5 tens. That means we go to the next 100. And after 200 comes 300. So 250 runs to 300. Now, when we add those numbers, we can have an approximation, an estimation of the answer to the problem. And we know that 0 ones plus 0 ones is 0 ones, 0 tens makes 0 tens, 300 plus nothing is 300, and 2000 is 2000. So the estimation of the number 2200 is 2300. If you notice, it's very close. So I can tell that I have a good approximation. Now, let's do the one for the second part of the problem. To check how reasonable the answer for question 2, how much do both items cost in all, we need to run the numbers again. So we know that the computer costs $1,950 and that the television costs $2,200. Now remember, if we're rounding again to the hundreds place, we need to look at the tens place to see which rule applies. Now for this one, we know that this is 1. If the number in the tens place is 1, 2, 3, and 4, they stay in the same 100. And in the number in the tens place is 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, it moves to the next 100. Because in 1950 has the 5 in the tens, and I have 1900s, the 1900s are going to become 20 hundreds, and the 50 is going to become a 0. So this is about the price of the computer, $2,000. And then because in this number, in the price of the TV, I have a 0 in the tens, actually I'm going to stay in the same one. Even though here doesn't say the 0, it makes sense that it's going to be there. It's already rounded in the hundreds. So this price stays the same. The computer costs around $2,200. So when we add them together, we're going to have that 0 ones and 0 ones make 0 ones, 0 tens and 0 tens make 0 tens, 0 hundreds plus 2 hundreds makes 200, and 2000s plus 2000 makes 4000. So the estimated price of both items is going to be 4,200. So I can tell that 4,150 runs to 4,200, which is very close to the real one. So the estimation sounds really good for me, and that makes me know that my answers are I'm sure that my answers are pretty close to what it's supposed to be. Now let's finish giving you a little challenge here. Solve this problem using a two-step problem, using the strategies we just learned. Remember to read the problem. There are 1,025 blue and 1,270 red paper clips in a box. The remaining 800 paper clips in the box are yellow. How many paper clips are in the box? Remember to solve one question at a time. Represent your problem with a bar model. And don't forget to run your numbers to check how reasonable your answers are. Well, let's see you next time.